Those ticks hit different every week. Boom, boom,
Like
boom.
emotionally for you and your heart.
Different every week.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are back for We're Making a Movie. My name is Tara.
I'm Natalie.
And we are making a movie. If you're just now joining this podcast, you just happen to jump on because you've met us at a festival or something like that. This is our podcast that is chronicling the behind the scenes adventure of Natalie and I making our very first feature film. The feature film is called Turns Out. It is a apocalypse buddy comedy starring two women. And right now we are deep in pre development part of life. I almost said pre-production,
I know.
but that's not
No,
correct.
we're still in development. We're still in
Still in
development and
development.
still driving.
What I hear is development takes a long time, and that's where we're still at.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
don't
magical
like it.
wand has happened yet. I know.
I
It's
don't
a
like it.
I'm I'm the kind of person who the party drinking game. I'm the kind of person who really doesn't like sitting in the waiting room for something. So like waiting to move. I hate waiting to move.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be at the week of the move where we're packing the boxes up and we're moving the boxes out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Everything before that is the planning part. Like I overplan because I'm in pure agony the entire time. And that's kind of what development is. I'm waiting to put things in boxes. I can't pack the spatula yet. I need it
I
still.
need the spatula. I might still need it. Yeah, mine
It's
is on the other hand, I just feel like I don't like inaction. And I
ah.
feel like I'm in
Hmm.
the inaction phase of my
Oh,
of
yeah, yeah.
mine. Like I have no actionable items on the list and it's
Oh, I
driving me
know.
crazy.
This last week I've been in actionable item hell with
Oh yeah.
scheduling
Mm-hmm.
programs and stuff and going back through our script. I've been talking to a line producer who I was side note think would be interesting to interview later on in the process if I can con this man by being really sweet and nice to him. He's been very helpful in the preparing the script for production, which is there are different rules to follow as far as the setup of your script for production. So I've been going back through it's been the limited
For
amount of
those
free time I've had.
for those of you not watching, Natalie's
Yeah,
face just went, "I don't know what you're talking about."
absolutely. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, but we are back here today in the development part. We're talking about money. Before we get
Mm-hmm.
rolling, I just want to cover any of you folks out there in the YouTube world. When you guys give us super chats, that goes directly to making the movie Turns Out happen. If you send us a PayPal, that also goes directly to making the movie Turns Out happens. We've got links for all that stuff. There's buttons for all that stuff. If you want to mail me a tenner, I will take it. We don't have a PO box anymore. I will get you my address. I will take your money.
For $10, it's worth
For
it.
$10 to put toward my movie. We appreciate all of the past super chats and PayPal's. Seriously, it does help keep the engines going. We're in that part of like, well, let's move some money around to make things happen because there's just so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that is life. Do we have any important breaking news this week?
No,
I
you
don't.
missed it last week. We got the script got into Broad City Film Festival. Broad Humor Film
Yeah,
Festival. So there will be a table read at the end of August, the 29th.
yeah.
We don't have the deets on that. We were actually going through the script, trying to find those 10 pages that they can read. I think we settled on it.
Yeah,
It's
I
always
think we
fun, like which 10 pages represent your comedy, and also
yeah,
you don't have to set up too much is a very
right.
difficult thing to do, actually.
We had to like I like made my jump assumptions on what we normally do, and then you wrote back like, oh, well, actually this might be a better. I'm like, I'd never thought of that section for this before, and I think you're right. Like now where we're at, that
Well,
section of the script is great for
mhm.
this.
The last time we had to do a 10-page section was before many rewrites. And
Yeah.
so that section does not have our original first 10 pages, what we went with, because we loved our first 10 pages, but we elaborated in our first 10 pages. We added like 2 pages in there. So it
Hmm.
doesn't end on the 10th
You're
page
right.
as well
Yeah.
anymore. And so we can't use that.
Uh-huh.
So we had to,
Yeah.
we
Yeah, because
had to go. So,
originally this was a web series that
mhm.
we formed into. So the first 10 pages is a solid 10 pages because we
It
wrote the
was a
first
pilot.
episode
Yeah.
over and over again, and that was the pilot. And I always loved the first, but you're right, we did so many rewrites. It's not the first 10 pages in same it's not the same first 10 pages anymore. And
Nope.
that was actually kind of like a interesting moment. Our script has changed
Hmm.
so much. Anyways,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's all of our breaking news for this week. This today's podcast, today what we're doing, we are still talking about funding, which I think is probably the key thing about
Mm.
development is getting the money in, where it's coming from, how it's coming from, and it doesn't have to come, it comes in so many different ways.
Hmm. Yeah. Last week we talked to Hudson Phillips about his cup. He's done 3 now. We one hasn't been released yet. But
Hmm.
Guacamole Yesterdays was where we knew him from, which is a film you can still find if you want to go watch that episode. There's all the information on that one, how to watch his movies. But he had a very unique journey. The first time it was getting, a bunch of people that were the first movie he had some big investments from friends, and it was a different
Hmm.
time, so
Yeah.
it didn't cost as much, and it was a very low budget film. And then the second one, he had a hard time raising those funds until he finally got an angel investor who just
Hmm.
believed in his work and wanted to help him succeed. And then a combination for his third film. Go watch that interview; it's really good. But that was
That was excellent.
our journey last week.
Yeah, and as we've been talking, we've realized that every financial funding for your film is every person's is different from every person's. There's as many different ways to do this as there are filmmakers making movies, and we want to try and talk to as many of them as humanly possible. So we've got another interview today. Dear, and like when we first threw out the fact we could do more interviews on this topic, this is one of the first people that came to mind for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was
Uh
just out of
Go
random
ahead.
random left field. This is
Go.
I
I
wonder
could
how many
tell.
cows I have to sell to make a movie. Could if I just invest some, I would always get to pay people in beef before, but what if I
Yeah.
just, I have a cattle ranch in case,
Just yeah,
not a
you
big one, not a very big one, guys. I'm not getting rich off it. No one's getting rich off of cattle money first.
no.
But what if I sold a couple cows? Maybe that's my investment.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Okay,
so
food
glad
for
you
thought.
brought up cows because
Literal food for thought.
food for thought. I have a little like trinket gift as I often do that's cow related. I'm so glad you brought up cows. Anyways, back on the main track.
Okay, back
Steering back on.
back to where.
All right. So this week we are talking to a filmmaker. His name is Ryan McDonough. He also you will find him on the internet as McShowoff, which is my favorite part about him. And if that does not sum up this man, I don't know what does. He has his own amazing filmmaker funding adventure. I don't even know all of the details of it because
No.
but mostly just we don't talk about this stuff. It's
Mm-mm.
we usually talk about everything else under the sun, except for
Yeah.
the things that we probably should talk about for our own education.
Hmm.
Um, so uh I'm like reading my old notes to myself from the podcast, and I just read the side note about Monty Python.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right.
Side note.
Side note. More sides.
Side note. Another side note. This is important and related. Side note that if it weren't for many British bands, we would not have the classic film Monty Python's Holy Grail, because it took all of them putting their money in together to make that movie happen, and it still was not enough money. That's
No,
the other
like
thing.
just speaking of, where funding comes
Yeah,
from, the weird places like cows, sometimes it's British rock bands and Led Zeppelin because
sometimes.
they want your movie to happen. So we either need to find a British rock band that wants to support us or
If you are a British rock band, please give us a call. We'd love to talk to
yeah,
you.
the money
All
comes in
right.
from weird places.
So Ryan McDonough, did he? enter your life first or my life first? I
Yes.
think
No.
you.
So I met Ryan at Hill Country Film Festival.
Yes.
Rest in peace. It's defunct now.
Oh,
It
that's
closed. Hill Country Film Festival in 2017-ish. He was there with the short film Last Night in Rozzie, which he went on to make into a feature. And this is a funny, I don't know if he'll remember this, but I was the first film festival I had gone to by myself. It was very weird. I was there with imaginary friends. I got like burnt like a lobster. Do you remember that, Tara? When I
oh my
text you
gosh,
from the
that's
pool, I was like, but anyway, so this back table was Ryan, myself, and this guy named Payton. I want to say his name was Payton.
Hayden, if you're
And
watching.
we sat in the back and we were joking about how our table was the loser's table and no one was going to win anything. And then I don't know why I know I was drunk. I'm sure Ryan was not.
No.
We were in rare form every time
Yeah.
that like they would announce another one. We felt like we were on the outskirts of this party that we were like kind of not really invited to, but somehow snuck in.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
Payton won something like the very last one was Best Actor.
Which is,
He was with I can't remember the name of the film, but he had Jeremy, the guy we end up the guy from Dazed and Confused that we end up meeting. Remember?
oh
It was the same
yes.
film. Anyway, he won Best Actor, and so Peyton was like, we wouldn't invite him back to our table.
Oh my
But
gosh, y'all are funny.
anyway, so we had a
Yeah.
blast, and we just had the best time. Never saw each other again, but became Facebook friends. And
Mhm.
then when Last Night in Rozzie, the feature, was going to be showing at JDIF, Julian Dubuque International Film Festival, he reached out and was like, "Are you guys going to be there?" But and it was just you. Ryan is the type of guy that you get into a room with him and you feel like you've known him for a century.
Oh
Like
yeah,
this
besties.
is a brother. This is a
Yeah.
bestie. Yeah, it was really interesting.
Friends forever. Yeah, I
Hmm.
think that was Jadip was my first introduction
Yes.
to Brian,
And you guys became thick as
Ryan.
thieves right
Thick
away.
as the oh my God.
Yeah,
We
I was
haven't, I
jelly.
mean, I'm sorry, but like, don't be too jelly. We have not hung out in forever, and I'm gonna have to. I've not been a social person in the last couple of years, so many hanging outs have fallen to the wayside, and Ryan would be one of those. And now I'm like, oh, I was doing the texting back and forth, setting up the interview and stuff. I'm like, oh, this guy's so much fun.
Yeah.
Hey, so glad we're gonna have him on because he's just a joy and a delight and so much fun. But also like, I want to hang out again. I gotta get better at being social. Like I am way too focused on work. My work-life balance is not good right now. I'm working on it. Anyways, okay, so that's our amazing adventure. I don't think I ever got to see the short, but I did get to see Last Night in Rozzie. Did you see the short?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's because you saw it at Hill Country. Okay, great. I just as a
You know what? Actually, I did not see it in Hill Country. He sent it to me and I watched it on the plane ride home.
oh, okay. I don't
I
think
remember
I
2017 so well, evidently.
before things got bad. I feel like I saw it, but I think I'm having a mismemory. So
Hmm.
I think it's important to note this adventure of going from the short proof of concept to the feature film because that is a story that a lot of filmmakers have and a definite wonderful possibility for you filmmakers out there who have like, I have this feature. I want to make it. I don't have the money. See how I threaded that needle there? I don't have the money to make my feature. Making the proof of concept is a great way to get that ball rolling. So I want to put a little pin in that and go, that's important for everybody. All right, guys. I think we bring him in and introduce him to the world.
Yeah.
Yes? Yeah. All right, great.
Hello.
Right. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Oh my God. Thank you. That was awesome to hear all that fun stuff. And I do remember a lot of it that you mentioned, the stories, the loser's table. Hell yeah.
That
It
is
was
Loser's
the,
everyone's
table.
favorite part of the podcast is sitting backstage while we sing their praises.
While we
So,
sing, I
yeah,
think people want to come on the show just so that they can
just to
hear what
have
we
that
think
moment.
about them. Like,
yeah.
because we don't tell people what we think about them in real life. We tell them behind their backs, and it's always, well, 90% of the time, it's nice things. Welcome to our little podcast.
It's it's a big podcast. It feels huge. This is awesome. I really, yeah, this is fun to be here and listening to both of you. You talked about like we've known each other for 100 years. It's because you think I'm old, but the fact
No.
is, like, no, I'm not messing with you. But like, I felt the same. Like it was just instantly with you, Natalie, back at at Hill Country. Rest in peace. Like you said, that's sad. And I
Yeah.
just immediately connected with you. And it's so funny that when I met you, Tara, it was like it was almost as if you were with Natalie when I met her back in Hill Country. It was just like all of a sudden there's like all this
Hmm.
history of just, and you guys had the masks that you could see your mouth through, which is so
I
creepy.
Yeah. It
forgot
was
about
pandemic. Yeah.
I forgot. I forgot that we were the belle of the balls at this film festival because we had and this is all Natalie's doing. We had the clever masks that everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, that's fantastic!" Like that's right.
Yeah, we had those
It was
COVID
really
masks
funny.
that had the little plastic mirror for those of you
So
not
you could
watching,
see
and you
your
could see your
lips.
mouth move. Because
Yep.
I wasn't getting dolled up and then covering up
Ag-
my prettiness.
Oh my
Hell
gosh, I
no.
remember that. I remember that. Well, welcome to the show. We've given our perspective of who you are, your adventure, but I realize in doing this how little I know about our compatriots' experience in getting to film. So tell the good people, who are you? How did you get here? What are you
All right.
doing here?
What am I doing here? Shoot. Well, I'm in Long Beach, California. That's the end of the story, I guess, or the beginning where we're at now. We're caught up.
Oh, we're doing
I'm
a
here.
reverse.
Yeah, I'm doing a reverse, and then you swing back to now. I grew up in Boston though, so like I'm. Can I say masshole? Can I say that?
Yes.
Is
Yeah,
that
You can say
you can
whatever you want
curse.
to.
Do
okay?
whatever
Good.
you want.
I'm making sure. I don't know if you guys swear or not, but it's just it's not quite a swear, but it sounds like one. But that's what they call people from Boston a lot of times. But that's me.
Oh,
Mostly fans, Boston fans of sports. So I'm a big sports fan from Boston, and I lived in New York for 20 years. After college, and I did a lot of acting. That was kind of my thing, or I tried to, and I became this party catalyst uh, as an MC. Like, so I worked in bars, I worked at bar mitzvahs and weddings and corporate parties and things like that because I had this big personality and I drank a lot. And then I got this job with Jose Cuervo, and then I was doing that for 6 months, and I stopped drinking and got sober because I was gonna die, and found that I could still do the job without drinking. And then there was this story on This American Life about me called Plan B is the episode. It's on NPR. It's from 2002, but it's you can listen to it still. It's really good. John Hodgman, who's brilliant, is the one who told the story, narrated it, and all that stuff. I mentioned that because that was in about 2007. So that was 2002. About 2007, I was working for Sprint PowerView, which was like TV on flip phones. I was like hosting like a sports show on that. You'd be like watching it on a flip phone, this tiny little screen. Like but it was in a big studio, like in New York, like on the west side, like way west. It was crazy. So I'm like doing this show, and then I get an email from This American Life saying that they're developing that story into a movie. And so that became a journey of like, oh, so the movie's going to be about me and about John Hodgman. And it was DreamWorks, which got absorbed by Paramount. And so next thing you know, like I have an agent at UTA, and I almost said UTI. Anyway, people probably do
I had
that
an
from time to
agent and a
time.
UTI.
It's the
It
same
was
time.
rough and
It
great
was,
time.
yeah, right. It's like the after effects. So I got like a deal like for 2 years where they developed it. It was written as a movie. It had my name actually as the character. It was Ryan McDonough was like the lead character. It would be the lead whatever. Yeah, character. It's crazy. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a movie. I'm gonna get like 100 grand and blah 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 and all this stuff. And then it fell through. So it goes into turnaround.
Mm,
So Paramount
hmm
still has the rights, whatever. So I learned while I was waiting for this, I learned how to write screenplays. I mean, I started reading every book I could find on screenplays. I did the, story seminar, story by
Oh
is it
yeah.
Robert McKee? Is that the name? Yeah. So
Yeah.
like,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And so he does the actual, if you've ever seen Adaptation, the movie, you got to see it if you haven't, with Nicolas Cage and like Meryl Streep and stuff. But anyway, it's all about this this writer, right, and the story and all whatever, and then he does this sort of performance art. I went and did that. Long story short, longer story longer. Wrote a screenplay. I submitted it to stuff. It was Last Night in Rozzie. It was about my personal experience growing up in Boston, like without a dad, like uh, toughish neighborhood, like pretty tough, and trying to fit in and all the other stuff. And then submitted it to Scriptapalooza, got top 100 in that, which was kind of crazy to win
Wow.
something. It was the first screenplay I'd done. And so that started the process. So this is like 2008, 2009, I guess that is. And so I will go right to the fact of like, I wanted to make it. Nobody wanted it. Made a short, did the short, was like, learned a bunch of stuff about what would work better in a feature, rewrote the feature, got a team together and did that. So like, that's kind of where we're going to, I think, talk about is the short and then the feature and how that all kind of worked. But my whole approach to this was like, somebody is going to give me money to do the thing that I want to do. Right. In fact, they're not going to give it to me. They're just going to make it for me. Right. That's what I wanted because I was an actor.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just show up and, and maybe I'll know my lines.
Maybe.
But like writing it, maybe I can figure that part out. But like, yeah, I just didn't understand what it was going to take to do it. And like, I couldn't raise money to like, for a baseball team when I was in Little League. Like if you had to go door to door, sell raffle tickets, I sucked at that. Like horrible. Like, can I please buy a ticket? Okay, bye. Slam the door. And I had to learn, like with the short, it's like, okay, what's the budget going to be for a short film? Right. I'm like, worked with a producer. I should say, first of all, Sean Gannett is the director and he's a really good friend of mine. He and I kind of took this from when we did the short, we partnered together and said like, okay, what can we do to make this thing? And it went from like, let's try to sell it to interested people to like, nobody's going to want to make it because it's a drama. And nobody makes dramas or wants to buy them generally. They win awards all the time, but they don't seem to make any money. So that was it. And we partnered together and we went from the short through the feature and it was a great partnership and it all kind of started there.
So you had the feature script, then you realized you weren't going to be able to make the feature script. So you wrote the short and tried to make that. Am I getting that timeline right?
Yeah, right around like 2015, right around that time. So it's a good like personal aspect of this too is, so my son was born in 2014. I got married in 2010. I should know this, 2010. And we moved out here to Long Beach from Brooklyn in 2012. And so, yeah, so that's the dealie. And then of course I'm getting old, so I lost my train of thought. So like, what, honey? Sorry. I'm just going to pretend somebody interrupted me. But yeah, so 2015,
right. And then you said that then ended up changing the script from the short to the feature because you just realized that some things didn't work or.
Well, all right. So we did, when we had the feature and Sean and I, the personal aspect I was going to say is I was trying to act while I was out here. And I realized like nothing was happening. I'm a dad. I'm like in an improv group with a bunch of younger people in LA and I'm driving 45 minutes and people are kind of showing up, kind of not. And I'm like, like, let's do it this time, which doesn't work for you. And I was like, I'm out of here. And it was like all this resentment, but it was really like they're doing their thing. And I'm like, no, I need to move on. And what do I want to do? And I wanted to make this movie. That was the thing. And knowing that story about me was not going to happen, I'm like, I have an opportunity to sort of tell my story and have this legacy for my own son and sort of deal with my own childhood issues. Because having a son with, I dealt with a lot of stuff with a child that I hadn't realized because of resentments of whatever, moving around a lot, having a mom with a lot of issues who did her best and was amazing, but it was tough. And so all this stuff kind of came up and I'm like, all right. And I'm going to process this all with this script that I had written before I'd ever had a son. And it was fascinating. So Sean really identified with the story as well. Another only child, single mom story as well. And we developed it into the short because we're like, I think we can make something for the screen and see what it looks like, and we didn't have the idea that it'd be a trailer, but it was like, we have to do a standalone thing. But one of the things when you do a feature into a short for festivals is they kind of smell it and they're kind of like, it's not a short, right? A short has to have this sort of quirky, weird thing that you almost can't imagine it, expanding. Right. It's all done there, right?
Yeah.
You want more, but you don't imagine it's there. And so this was a little more like a condensed version of the feature. But we got my friend Mark Feuerstein, who has been all over TV and done a lot of movies that I went to school with. Great
Oh,
guy.
you went to school
And
with him. Okay, I was
Okay.
wondering
I
how you got
did.
him. Like, I adore him. He's
Yes.
been amazing his entire career, and I remember that being such a standout moment. What's his last name again?
Feuerstein. So
Feuerstein.
yeah, at
Yeah,
Feuerstein. Yeah.
yeah. When I
Yeah.
saw, when
He's
I,
a
I remember
delight.
being very impressed because I love that guy.
Yeah, it made it a little easier for us too, right? It's like it's all, you mentioned before, I think in the blurb about today's show is like, how did you get SISTO, right, in the feature?
Yeah.
Like it's
Hmm.
having somebody who's a good actor who's also like recognizable, not a superstar, but somebody that people know from something, right? That
Right.
people know and they know is a good actor or somebody that they really like.
Hmm.
Like it's
Mhm.
very important. And so, having Mark on board and it was like, can you do this? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, cool. And I got to act in it with him, which was really, really fun because I hadn't acted with him since college. And, and then I fired myself for Jeremy Sisto for the feature. And that made a lot of sense moving forward with that.
Well, so we have that with ours. I'm jumping ahead.
Right.
We're just
Jumping
gonna
Yeah.
ahead.
start doing Q
All
and
out
A
of
and
order
stuff
here.
here. It's all
Yeah.
out of order. I knew this was gonna happen with you. Uh,
Meh.
No, but
I know.
that's a big thing for us is like, we're the two leads in ours, and we know that our script would sell easier if there was a Jeremy Sisto playing one of us.
Yeah.
But, I think but we want to do it. And
We
like, what
want
was that
to,
like
yeah.
recasting yourself? Like, like,
Yeah. It's,
was that just like
it's hard.
complete necessity, or did you just know, like, I'm not going to get the funding? Or,
It's fun. I think, yeah, we didn't have the funding, right? Like I had somebody, and I can tell you the specifics. Like, let me just throw some money out real quick. Like I had a budget. We had a budget set for like 1.1 million for the feature that I rewrote, which is like way too much money for an independent drama, right? It's just, but I was
yeah.
like, well, and then I went to Princeton, I went to Roxbury Latin in Boston, which is a really good private school, day school, not a boarding school. And so like there's kids like me, I grew up without any money, and there's a lot of kids with money, right? Princeton is pretty much all money, right? But like people do really well. And so I had a really good network of people that, first of all, really, really close friends, people that believed in me, that had people that had given money to the short film, which we did on Indiegogo and raised like $45,000 to make, which is way too much to make a short, right? But and that's a whole story into itself, how I was able to do that. But yeah, so anyway, direct me as you wish because I will go all over the place, as you know.
So how did you end up getting Jeremy?
All right, so Jeremy, we were on the with the idea was I was going to play Joey, right? Like I had the same idea that you guys did, which was I want to be in this. Part of the reason I'm doing this is so that I
I
can
wrote
act in
this
it.
for myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny is I didn't actually write it for myself, which was interesting. Like
Mm.
I guess I was in the voices of it. I never wrote it for myself to do. I wrote it as an exercise. It was more like I'm telling my story or a part of my story and I'm going to adapt it. It was an exercise to like, can I write a script that I think could sell or that I think could make me a screenwriter that, can I write a movie that I'd want to see? Not that I'd want to act in necessarily. And then it was like, ooh, because I didn't even think like that's how little I think of myself is like, I couldn't possibly act in my own movie, right? It was that idea, I think. It was too big, and it was just,
Okay.
and so when I did the short, it was like, okay, well, I can do it. I did a good job, and it was like, it was fine. But then when we start raising money, and I had like 100,000, I think I had $150,000 that was guaranteed, I guess, or that was committed, we'll say, committed to the movie, right? And I was like, oh, I'm 10% of the way there. Like, this is going to be easy, and it was like, it was not easy. So, so I had that money, like development money. So I think I had 75,000 actually in the bank, right? As we're trying to get investors and stuff. And at that point, I'm playing the part, right? We're not doing casting. We're talking about other parts, like who do we want to play these parts? And I just assumed that I was going to do it. And I was showing my friends, investors and stuff, the short, which I'm acting in and stuff. Right. And so, but as we're creating all the stuff, all of the, the things we need to a sales deck, right? The promotional things that we need to sort of get people interested, realizing like, it's not going to get there. And we started talking to a casting director, Rick Montgomery, who's phenomenal, and he did all the Farrelly Brothers movies, and then he did Green Book, right? So like Oscar-winning film. He's the casting director, and so we're working with him, and he kept talking about Jeremy. He's like, Jeremy would be great for this role. Jeremy would be great for this role. And I'm like, yeah, I'm playing it. And I'm like, but it was the easiest role to sort of do. So the thought was, I'm talking to a friend from Boston who's really, this sounds like a lie, but it's not. He's just close with Matt Damon. And it was like, he really loved the script. And he was like, I think and I was like, dude, he'd be great as the SISTO character, right? I'm like, and I'm just pie-eyed, like, the sky's the limit. The producer I was working with at the time is like, you're an idiot. What are you talking about? Like, even if you joined, it's not your movie anymore, all this stuff. And it's all very true.
It changes everything.
It changes everything. Yeah.
Totally. And it's like, but I was like, I'm willing to go there. Like, I want to see what happens, So he offered it to him. He never opened it. Like, it was just like, it's funny. He always answers my texts, and it's like, he couldn't, right? Because it's like, you don't mix business and friendship like that. And so, but once I decided, like, because he was going to give me $1 million just to get Matt. He was like, I can pay for Matt. Like, I can raise the money for that. And I was like, we were going to offer him $1 million. And then the movie becomes a $5-10 million movie, like whatever. And nothing happened. But once I realized I was willing to sell myself for Matt Damon, I'm like, let's give this movie the best opportunity it has.
Right.
Right.
And that's what I want. And because I had been so invested as a writer and as a producer and as raising this money, and I was raising a significant amount, the budget was 1.5 million, ended up raising 430,000 from investors, which is insane. Right. And it was 35 different investors, which don't do that. If if you do, make sure they all give you a lot of money, because it's hard to deal with the taxes and stuff for the next few years. Yeah. So how do we get Jeremy is Rick Montgomery loved the script, loved the part, sent it to the agent. He was interested. Like, it was as simple as that, and then it was really difficult to cast, Neil Brown Jr. played Ronnie, and we needed a mixed race, character, a dude who could play like a lot of different stuff. He could be like
it's a very
hardcore, but he goes, so we needed someone like that. So it was really tough to cast.
Yeah. The cast was phenomenal. You guys did a great job with that. Like, even the umpire was fantastic.
The umpire, I think, was a standout for me.
Thank you.
I don't know about you, Natalie.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Ryan ended up playing the umpire in the film.
Yes,
Baseball game.
They kept taking my roles. I was like, I'm going to be, so Chris Meyer, who worked with the Farrelly Brothers a bunch, was the producer on this, who was so helpful. And he's the one who got us Rick. And like, having to lose that role, and then it's like, okay, so I'll play the dad. I'll be like the racist dad who who's like, an abuser and all this other stuff. And like, now we got somebody, Kevin Chapman's gonna play him, and Kevin's fantastic. Like, he's just he plays a heel so well. Like, he's just terrifying, and he's got the Boston accent. Like, I grew up in Boston. I can't do a Boston accent like that anymore, and so that, and then I was gonna be, I kept losing it. They're like, umpire, and then Chris literally goes, I got this news guy. He's like a weather guy out here, and he can play the umpire. He'd be really good. I was like, no, I am playing the umpire, dude. Like, you're not taking my role.
I will not be an extra in my own film.
And the whole time I'm playing the umpire, I got a phone in my hand. I'm dealing with like investors like during the shoot, like, because the uniforms for the kids were way too big. Oh, it's crazy.
Right. That's why it's so hard to be in your own movie, is like, you're on your phone, and being the producer, like, you're on your phone dealing with things so often. You have to be able to hand that off at some point. You said that you had 35 of them, though. 35 investors. How did you? I mean, I know you can't tell me every single person's story, but how did you? What was your method of getting these investors?
Okay, I have a whole system, and I can't share anything, can I?
And he's gonna sell the system.
I'm gonna sell you the system.
Sell you the system. I got an easy system. $1.99. I'll sell you my system. Okay, what is your system?
I mean, it's just a sales system, right? It's like, and I didn't know how to do it. The producer that I was working with, Mike Piltzecker, he was on the film early on in development, and he was really instrumental in helping me learn how to treat this as a sales, as a business that you need to sell. And so he's like, you got to create a pipeline of
Oh
potential
God,
investors. I'm
pipelines.
not even
Okay,
joking.
yeah.
Can I share something on the screen or no? Does it
Oh,
work?
I don't know.
Um,
Can you?
I
I
won't.
don't know. I don't.
I mean,
I
I
mean,
can. I don't know if it'll
go
share. Let
for
me
it.
try it.
Try it. Let's see what
All right.
happens.
We're gonna see what happens. Those podcast friends out there, we're gonna try to
Yeah, they
experiment
can't see
live.
it.
And here's why you want to
Yeah,
be on YouTube
Yeah,
live with
we'll
us. Go for
describe
it.
it as we
Try.
go.
We'll
Try it and
describe.
see
yeah,
what happens.
you're missing it all. This is, yeah, you could
You're
describe
missing
it
this
really,
part.
really accurately. Let's see if it pops up. But at least you'll follow along with me as
Yeah.
I share it. So it's in the
Your
waiting room right now,
pipeline.
I guess.
Pipelines.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
All
There's
right.
a weird thing. We have to
So,
remove this one, and then I have to add this one.
Yep.
All
There
right,
you
all
here
go.
we
right.
go.
All right. So I hope these are all redacted. It's very official. I don't want. I actually was doing this, and I saw like my buddy Adam was at the bottom. Like, oh no, it's still in
Yeah.
there. So he's gone. So it was like contact new prospects. Like this is everybody that I need to contact. So you just put a whole list of people down here, like every single person that you possibly know. How much money do you think that they could give you? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're right or not, but just be optimistic,
Okay.
realistic still.
All right.
And
All
then
right.
like, put a date down, whatever, like all this stuff. And then you contact them and talk to them. That's the hardest part, right? That's not on here. Like to actually call them and say,
That is
hi,
the hardest.
the
Picking up a
hardest
phone to
part. So
call
that,
people. Yes.
and you have to have something to show them as well, which is a whole other thing. I sent you the sales deck before. I'm glad to share it if you guys want to share it, whatever. But like having something that shows people that you've thought about how, because you're going to talk to people generally that have money, right? People that are in business that have done this stuff, if you can, because they're the ones that are gonna. It'll be easier to get money from people like that sometimes if they believe in what you're doing, as long as you show as much as it's extremely unlikely to make the money back, even to pay them back the money they invest. You have to be super upfront about it. Like as much as you believe in it, because I believed in mine. I'm like, no, we're gonna make money. Like we're gonna make money. We made nothing, right? Like
Yeah.
we grossed I think $32,000 over a couple of years on, so like obviously we don't get anything back. But at the time, I'm like, I don't know. This could be lightning in a bottle. Like you just never know, and you have to believe in it. And so that thing when you call them and you say, hey, redacted, listen, I have. It's not even an opportunity, right? You're not going to say it that way. You say like, I'm making a movie, and I really believe in it, and I'm looking for people to invest. It's not a gift. It is something that I believe that can make money, and I think that we can have success, and this is why. And you start to talk about it. And I want to see if that's something you might be interested in, right? There's a bunch of different ways that you could do it. You find the voice that matters to you, but ultimately what you need to find out is, are they interested? If they're not, like, cool, thanks so much. Do you know anybody who is? Like, are you willing to help in any other way, et cetera? Like, keep them involved, but if they're very clear about no, that's good, because now you can move on.
Yeah.
Right. So when somebody says no, somebody says, yeah, let me think about it. It's like, no is the second best answer you can get. Yes is the best answer you can get. No is the second best. Anything else is a pain, and it drags you out.
Yeah.
So you start to see, like, you've contacted somebody here. You need a qualified price, here, and you've sent the deck out, right? These are the different steps. Like, I've sent you all this stuff, now I need a qualified price. Like, what are you willing to give? And I guess nobody was really qualified before when I did it, if anyone's looking on the screen. But and then it becomes just this bookkeeping of, like, did you send out the deal work, right? There's a couple of legal things you need to send out, which is kind of boring, but there's a operation agreement and is that right? Subscription agreement, operating agreement, and subscription agreement. You talk to a lawyer, you figure out what those things are. It's basically the thing that says you are a member of this LLC, right? And this is how it works. Like, investors get 100%. 120% before you split the money, something like that, right? There's all those things that you have to kind of work out. But then, the rest of this is just like, you can do donations as well, right? There's people that just give you money for it, and you put that towards the movie, and you just kind of keep track of it. And as you can see at the bottom, 427, 750, right? I thought I'd get maybe 645, 75, but like you're constantly doing this, and there's 35 different investors, right? Some of these
Mhm.
folks, this is all the investors. Some of them put in two, one person put in three times.
Wow. So this spreadsheet that you're working from, did you create this spreadsheet, or is this something that like is a known item that we baby
Is
filmmakers
this how
should consider
the business
binding?
world works?
Yeah, is this how it works?
I think this is more businessy, right? So my
Yeah.
Mike is the one who kind of put this together. It was like, hey,
Oh,
do this, and
okay.
I kind of did some stuff. But no, I mean, I could certainly share it with you. I think this is helpful. It's just
Hmm.
you can always customize it the way you want. But what you need to do is it's getting it on paper, right? It's like saying and giving deadlines, right? When you talked about the
Right.
development hell that you're in, it is hell. It is the worst
Yeah.
waiting to raise the money. I'll tell you, the lowest I was when I was like, I'm making $1.5 million movie. I thought I had somebody who was going to give me 350,000, and then I
Hmm.
talked to him, and he's like, I was thinking 10,000, and you let me do the music for the. I was like, how did we get that far off? Like,
Yeah.
how
Uh-huh.
did I ever think that? And it's I blamed him, and I'm like, no, this is me. Like,
Right.
what are my expectations? What? And I went on a hike. Like, I asked God for a sign. Like, I just was like, I was
Oh,
miserable. I'm like, this. I put everything into
It's
this. I wasn't
rough.
working. My career was done. Like, my MC career was over. I was driving Uber and
Mm.
Lyft. I'm like, everything is into this. I'm all in, and I don't know what I'm doing. I
Right.
don't know what's going to happen. And so, yeah, I had to just change what it was. It was like, okay, what can I get? And I'm going to turn this into a $500,000 script, and I'm going to rewrite it that way, and we're going to get some coverage, and then we're going to turn the raise into that, and that became a little more palatable to people to see. Okay, you're trying to
mm,
raise 500, you've
yeah.
got 150, 200 guaranteed, committed. I mean, then it's easier. Um, but yeah, and then you keep track of, like, date for the check, right? Like, you want to
Hmm.
actually say, like, this is, and it's so tacky. Like, I had to talk to an ex girlfriend from somebody I dated briefly in college, and I called, and I was trying to be nice Ryan, like, hey, how's it going? Hey, I haven't talked to you in a while, da, da, da. And then I kind of started talking about the movie, and my Mike was in the room, and he's like, you got to sell her, you do got to sell her now. Like, he's just like on me. He's
Oh
like Glengarry Glenn
man.
Ross,
Oh
like Boiler Room.
God.
He's like
Oh.
all this stuff. He's
Oh.
like, you got to, and I
Yeah.
did it. I was like, and then she was just, I could tell that she felt like I literally just dropped a deuce somewhere nearby. Like, it was
Oh.
a horrible feeling, like I was trying to hit on somebody at a funeral. Like, it sucked. And
Right.
Oh man.
which I've done. No, I haven't done that, you guys. So that
I
I
mean,
know
it's
of.
almost
And
it almost kind of speaks to like if you know you're headed this direction, like it's maybe better to start that conversation now. Not the conversation, but start getting a hold of the people that you think would be interested now and
The
saying,
yes,
first
"Hi, how
time you
are you?
call
What's
them
going
is
on?"
not, yeah.
It's not the
yeah,
first time you're calling isn't and like I mean, that's also tacky to be so far ahead of the game that you're like calling people to catch up. But like, I
I
mean,
know.
this goes circling right back to my I haven't been very social. This is why it's important to say social with people that you know is
Yeah.
you don't want to be that tacky person who's like, I'm calling out of the blue, but you did come to mind for this. Like, that's a bull. It makes me nauseous.
Yeah, it it's hard because you have to. I'm going to take this down if you want.
Yeah,
Is
here we
that
go.
cool? Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you.
awesome. And then I'm glad to show you something else if there's anything else that comes up. But I have a few things open doing presentations. Um, yeah, it's tough, but I think the thing is you're still gonna have to, because I had to. You'll still reach out to people out of the blue because you're gonna find yourself with a deadline. Because if
Hmm.
you don't have a deadline, it's harder to raise money. Like, that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, if you have a shoot date, but it's like, but if you don't have the money, you can't shoot. And so we were like, we're shooting in late June, and this is September. I had 75,000, and like I said, I think it was December when I went on my hike, and everything was falling through, and we're shooting in June. Like, we're 6 months out, and I have $75,000, on 1.5 million, and I've spent probably 15 of it,
Hmm.
and it's just like, wow. And so but that date allows you to come back up, and change and pivot, and then get your team together, because people see
Hmm.
it's real. And if your script has legs and people like the script, and it sounds to me like what we talked about before, like, yes, it sounds like people really like the characters. Like, I know you guys could sell it. I've seen you act a million times in all your shorts, and just the way that you are as people. And I see how motivated you are as business people. For real, like you'll get it done, and you have fans out there, and some of you have money, so stop acting like you don't. I'm
I
just
don't
messing.
know.
Oh my
I
god, I
gotta be
totally
honest,
alienated your
like,
fans.
this whole conversation makes me want to vomit. Like,
I know it sucks. It's the
Your
worst.
face
I
for
did
the
that.
podcasters out there, her face this entire time has just gotten greener and greener, and she's moved further and further away
oh
from her
yeah, I
mic.
have retreated into the corner. I don't want to play
Yeah.
anymore. I want to take
No.
my
No.
script and go home.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why we don't. That's why actors are. We suck at this. Like, it's
Yeah.
really hard because we care. Like, and so
Right.
this is the thing that also helps us, right? Is that if we're honest about it, it's like we say, look, I hate asking you. I hate doing this. It makes me feel horrible,
Right.
right? But like, I believe in this movie so much that I'm willing to do that because I can't do the movie if I don't have your help. You know, so it's like, it's not being manipulative. It's being completely honest and vulnerable, which, you know, as an actor,
Yeah.
it's like, that's what we're trying to do, but we're trying to do it in real life, right? So it's beyond that. It's just, and so this is why I mentioned business people, right? People in business that aren't, like, I don't mean, like, I'm totally joking, like people have money, like give your money. I'm saying like when people have means and they are business people who invest money and they're able to make certain calculated risks, right? And say, or even like donations, or even say like, I can, you know, I had somebody who could give me $25,000 because he's like, that's what I have sort of allocated for people that have projects that I like, but that's as much as I can do. If you want more than that, I need your house as collateral. I'm like, whoa, you know, but it's like, but he's like 25 grand and that you could go smoke crack with it. I don't care. I'll still, you know, hang with you in the beer line at reunions. Like, that was the actual thing he was saying. And it was like, wow, fascinating. And so, but business people know that you're asking for money. They know that. And so it's okay to do it. We have to be okay with it. And we just have to make it like, it's not personal. It becomes, like I said, it's not personal, it's business. It's saying, this is the stuff, you know, and the personal stuff is like, we have a relationship. Now, can we talk about business for a second?
Yeah. And I think it's one thing to reach out to, you know, family and friends, but but like you're saying, those business people, this is what they do. So anybody who lives inside that world, they understand the no to them is not as uncomfortable as the no from your aunt, you know? And so like, and I think that's what I get, I get hung up on, like, I don't want you to be guilted into, I don't want you to say yes because I've guilted you into it, or, you know, but like the business person is like, no, it's not, I'm not interested in your, and they don't think about it the next day at breakfast, whereas your aunt might feel bad or, you know.
But I do think it's incredibly inspiring that like you came into this with like zero sales experience, no precursor, whatever, and managed to raise how much? $400,000 to make a movie, which I know is not the amount you're going for, but that is a lot of money. Like, that's
if we had that much,
very inspiring.
We could get a live possum.
We could have
a fake possum.
Rose. We could have a real crow. We could have a real possum.
Real possums.
A crane. We could have a crane shot.
I mean, like, listen, that is a for indie filmmakers like us, like, that is $400,000 is a life-changing number for the film that we're making, because right now we're like, oh man, 100,000, that's just so much money. How are we going to do that? So thank you for being inspiring.
No, and the thing is, 100,000 is like I said, I raised 45 on Indiegogo, and so I think with crowdfunding, you know, I don't know what you have to do legally and stuff. Like, I don't think you have to do all the stuff that I was talking about with the PPMs and the operating agreements and all that other stuff. Like, I think you avoid it as much as you can. And I think that you could just go straight to Kickstarter or Indiegogo or one of the other platforms, right? And there's a whole system of how to raise money on that another friend from college showed me how to do it. And it was really about being like, having forethought and like getting started like months ahead of time, right? Because a lot of people are like, I'm doing this thing and I'll, you know, and then I'm launching it tomorrow. And it's like, no, you launch it in like 2.5 months. Like, you get champions ahead of time and make sure that they're going to donate any amount on day one, you know? to build all the stuff. So I'm sure you know about a lot of that stuff, but that's the thing that I didn't know. And again, like we were trying to raise 30,000, raise 33, and then we did a follow-up for like 8 and we got like 11, so we went over. Now we also had
That's
to do
great.
like, t-shirts and things to give away and all that
Right.
stuff, which is,
Yeah.
takes away some of the money, and it's a lot of work, but it set the tone for me to say, okay, I can raise money. It's different to do it with investors than it is with this, but I know that I have the mindset to say that I can separate myself and the gross feeling of asking somebody to support me financially in some endeavor, to say it's not about that. It's about the product.
Well, we had Paula Rhodes on a few weeks ago, and she's Kickstarter, like she's done most of her stuff through fundraising that direction. And she was talking about how you're not asking them for a favor, you're asking them to go on a journey with you. You're asking, so
Mm-hmm.
like the reframing it from just like, hey, can you give me a handout, to hey, this is something that you're invested in. You are going to be not necessarily part of the journey, because you don't want all of their
Right.
work, but people are looking for, like you said, the person with the 25,000 that has that just sitting around every year. That is what they're going to give to charity, or what they're going to give to a startup, or whatever. They've scheduled that in, and thinking about it that way versus thinking about it as like a handout or hat in hand, or I couldn't do this on my own. I don't know, all the things that go through my socially anxious brain. Like,
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's about inviting them on, and that's the thing with the investors. When I had to send out, MailChimps, right? Like send out the MailChimps every so often, and keep them posted on what was going on. Like we got Jeremy Sisto, we got Neil Brown Jr. Like here's all the stuff that's going on as you go, and and you get to see people, reading it. You get to see the feedback, or like whatever, that they're actually opening it, and they're sharing it or whatever, and then they'll tell you like, great job. And when I went to my reunion, and a bunch of folks from school that invested money, and I'm like, I got my hat in my hand, right? Like, because I'm like, I knew that nobody was getting any money back. Not to mention, it was like a pain to get them their tax stuff every year, because of my accountant, because we had no money. We were like, with the accounting we had, it was like we were the
Yeah.
last customer that they cared about.
Right.
And so it was really tough. And I went, and people they're like, dude, you have to stop like apologizing. Like, I love it. Like the movie's great. Like, I'm so glad that I got to be a part of it. Right. And so those are the people that you want. And when people say to you, like, I believe in you, right? I believe in you. They are like, it is a business thing, but ultimately it's not, because they know a movie is not a moneymaker. It's just not, right? Like, because even in Hollywood, it's not, because when you think about it, 10% of the movies make money, and they cover the rest of the movies that lose money.
Right.
That's crazy to think about. So they know, right? And so it's just a matter of like, I want to allow you. I gave you the money that I could afford to lose, because I wanted to help you in your journey, and I wanted to see what happens with it.
Right.
And that's the beauty. We take it for granted because we've done movies and we've been actors and we've been part of these productions and stuff. But when somebody doesn't do that, or even somebody who does, they see somebody do it with this kind of spirit, with like this little engine that says like, we're going to get it done no matter what. And they see your obstacles, and then boom, you got something. And then you're like showing in festivals, and you win an award, and you get some streaming, distribution, whatever. And they're like, way to go. Like, what are you doing apologizing? And that's a beautiful thing. And I have to remember that, because I still feel like, man, it was a failure. Like, it's not. Like, getting it done is insanely successful. Like, it's just, and you're going to get there too. As long as like, we're going to do this no matter what, whatever it takes. If that's how you feel, you'll get it done. It's just a matter of how and when.
Yeah. A tiny left turn, still in the budgeting world, but before we lose you, I got to ask this question, because I'm pre-paving for disaster. What are some of the things in your budget that maybe you forgot to include, some big like things that were missing, like, oh no, I should have put this on the budget?
Yeah, or underestimated. Yeah.
Oh yeah, or underestimated how much they were going to cost you.
Yeah. First of all, get like a really good line producer to do it, just so that they can give you everything that they know. And I mean, I'm sure you both know how to do it too, but if you get somebody who's done independent film, especially, okay, then like have them go through it and say like, give me a couple of versions of it, right? Like give me the bare bones. What ends up happening is we always say, we just want to get the movie done and we'll worry about marketing after. And maybe you don't need to worry about marketing right that much, but you'll find that you do. Like, because if you're making the movie, like you need whatever your budget is, you almost need as much for marketing in a perfect world. And that sucks.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like if your movie's 100, you need another 100 to market it if you want to like have success. And most people can't do that. You have to put the money on the screen, right?
Right.
And so what did we underestimate? That certainly it was during the pandemic when we were done. So I got PPP loans, which is kind of amazing because you don't generally do that with a movie because you spend all the money, you don't get any money in. But we had somebody give us check for like we got $1,500 in checks from the Pleasant Cafe who sponsored us to get the uniforms. That counted as income on our tax return. Therefore, we could borrow $50,000 because of how much we spent in 300 grand that we spent in Massachusetts. But we couldn't spend that all on like, the people that we were hiring to do other stuff. You still have to account for the fringes, right? That aren't able to be written off. So you need to make sure add 30% to whatever your budget is. You got to add like 30% to all those. If you haven't,
go ahead.
Fringes
and cover
is
what
like
fringes.
So a fringe, like for an actor, for like a SAG actor, right? It's taxes and it's money to the pension fund, all that stuff, insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
So
and a good spreadsheet will have that included in your bottom line. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the scary part.
So I wanted to bring this up. We were talking about it with Hudson last week of the marketing budget. And one of the most recent stories on that is that Anora, everyone talked about how amazing it was that Anora got its Oscar and a $6 million budget. Their marketing budget was $18 million.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's how you're like, oh, a $6 million film made it into the Oscars. You're like, no, they spent, almost triple that almost triple that on marketing.
Yeah.
So
and that's how you got there. Like, it's not, yes, you made your film for this much money, but then also your marketing, you didn't include your marketing, but you should have, because that's what it takes to get the word out on a film at all, period. And then hopefully it's good beyond
and also,
that.
18 will buy
$6
you
million
an
is a
Oscar,
lot of
just
money.
kidding, but like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Easily. You can buy Oscars. I mean, just go actually buy an Oscar. Like literally buy an Oscar from somebody. I'm sure you can get it for less than that.
I'm just gonna buy one. This seems overpriced. Is it made of gold? Like,
yeah, it does. I know. I'll give you $100. Give me an Oscar.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a wild. Anyway, the last thing I would say is just that, like I said before, like it's. I have to look back and be so pleased about it, because what I do is I do Monday morning quarterback and go, should have done this, should have done that. We had a lot of inexperienced people where we could have had more experience and stuff, but I wouldn't trade it. When I think about it, it's like the journey that we went on together was amazing. Like the cast was phenomenal. Like the crew was phenomenal. Like everybody, just so many great stories and pictures and videos. And then we have the movie to show. I got caught up as a producer because I had investors, right? It was like that thought of like, I need to get them the money back, and I feel like a failure if I didn't. And nobody was holding me to that, because I was honest from the beginning and said, and I didn't want to be, and it wasn't that I didn't want to be honest. I didn't want to be what I thought was pessimistic. I wanted to be like, no, here's where it can go. Here's the money that you can make. People like, it's going to be zero most likely, and that has nothing to do with how well you do. Like you could crush it and we could still get nothing back,
right?
And that's okay.
100%.
Crush it anyway, and then let's make some money, if you do. But it's an awesome thing to do. I'll never do it again.
I was just about to ask you, so are you gonna do it again? What's next, kind of thing? But I guess that answers my question.
No, you know what? Like, never say never. I love the process, and I love the experience that I've gotten from it, and I love when people are doing. Like, I always want to be helpful. Please, if there's anything I can do for you two to help in any kind of way, that isn't financial because I'm broke, but like, anything.
Taking you off my list.
Yeah, it's already gone. I know.
Spreadsheet. No.
I give you the spreadsheet. I know, on the spreadsheet. But like, no, resources, like whatever it is, experience, like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. People are so generous to help with that stuff in general too, because I feel that way. I love what this has given me. Like I have a career now that I wouldn't have expected to have, which is I'm working at Google now, which is really a different thing to do for me, and it's a little more stable than my life had been up to that point, although it's not that stable. But like it's a regular gig, and I like it, and it's
Yeah.
different for me. That said, though, like I love movies, always have, always will, and love being involved in them in some kind of capacity.
Oh, amazing. Okay, before we let you go, I don't know if we really did a great little log line for Last Night in Rozzie. What's the movie about? And then I want to send everybody where they can
And
go
where can they
watch it
find
because
it? Yeah.
really it is
Okay.
such a good film.
Thank you so much. And you two were so supportive. Like, not only did you see it at JDIF or JDIF, you
Mhm.
saw it at Dances with Films.
Hmm.
And like every time I'd see you there, and you saw it twice, I think, at JDIF. I'm
We
trying to
saw it
remember,
at the
or at least
rooftop
once.
showing
Yeah,
too,
I
and
think I saw it at a
yeah.
rooftop
Yes, you
showing.
did at the
Yeah,
rooftop in LA.
yeah,
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 like I mean, so you came and saw it 3 times.
yeah.
Like
So I
that's
know it's a good
amazing.
movie.
So we're investors now.
Good enough.
We're
Hey,
investors at this
you're
point.
investors essentially.
$45 investors.
Let's see if I got this log line right, because I had to make sure I've got. When a New York lawyer returns to his hometown to reunite his dying friend with his son, he comes face to face with his own childhood trauma.
Hmm.
So it's hard, right? It's like it's hard to get
Yeah.
a good
Oh, I
log
hate
line,
log
We're
but
lines.
it's
writing them.
Yeah, I hate
We're
it.
writing them
it
right
sucks.
now. Yeah, we're in the middle of
Yeah.
writing it to
Yeah,
submit to stuff, and like, yeah, log lines are hard. They're hard. They're fun and
it's
they're hard.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff you want to include, and then you put too much
Right.
in, and it's like I don't know what
Uh-huh.
that is,
Yeah.
But
I was
that's
Hmm.
and
yeah.
yeah,
We were just doing one recently, and I was like, I kept trying to rewrite it, and I kept like adding too many things. I'm like, I can't think of what to add that isn't going to just make this thing a
Yeah.
mess, like, and go over
yeah,
the log line rules. Yeah, it's hard. Where can they
It's
yeah.
find this? Where can they watch this?
I mean, if you Google Last Night in Rozzie, and it's
Hmm.
ROZZIE, like it just shows up like all the places to watch. But like it's on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free. I think. What else is it on? Like I think I gave you a bunch of links there,
Hmm.
but
We will
like
link
there's
those
the free
below.
versions like
We'll link them all
Tubi and
below. Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
you can get it on Google Play. You can get it on YouTube. All those different things, and yeah, it really is. It's an 80-minute drama, so it's pretty lightning
It's
fast. It
heavy.
was 79.
It's
It
heavy.
it is
It's
heavy.
fast, but it's heavy.
It's
Yeah.
it's really good, but it's heavy. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
don't watch it on a lighthearted evening,
Yeah.
yeah,
but watch
Wait,
it. Definitely watch it.
but do go check it out. It's so if you're looking for like good independent films that are just different than what we're being fed right now in the system, like this is one of them. This is one of them. And that's what I love about film festivals is that you find these films.
Is the
yeah. I
short
appreciate
available?
that.
Is it on YouTube?
Oh, great question.
Gosh, I don't know if it is. I think I took it down
I
from. It
want
was
to say
on
it's out there.
Vimeo.
Oh, okay.
It's got to be out there somewhere. I'm sure you can find it. I think we took
Haven't
it
hunt it
down
down.
because we didn't want people confusing it with the feature when at a
Oh,
Yeah.
certain point.
mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I can share it with you. It's I mean, what is it? Is it 20 minutes, 15 minutes? And it was too long,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
I did have
But it
I
was
did have someone in the comment
15.
section who wanted to see the short. So if we can get the link to that,
Yeah.
we'll put that
Oh,
in
Okay.
yeah.
the YouTube
Yeah.
That'd be
YouTube
great.
links.
In
Yeah.
our links so people can go. And it's so fun to go and watch a short and a proof of concept and then go watch the feature film and compare and contrast how the filmmakers went about doing this difficult task of summing something up into a short film that's a way to help raise monies for the future project. That is a art in its own. So it's worth filmmakers out there. It's worth looking at people's work when they do that because it is a great way to kind of get the ball rolling on your feature.
Before we move on from that, I want
Yeah.
to say that I had heard recently that proof of concepts, just going forward for people that are considering doing that, rather than, and this goes back to what Ryan was saying earlier about nobody wants to watch. They feel open-ended. They feel like they're not complete when you do just a proof of
Yeah.
concept that's taken from your show or
Yep.
from your script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard someone say this recently, and I do like this, is when you're doing a proof of concept now, you should just do something from the same world and have a standalone
Smart.
script. And
Yeah.
just and that's I think a newer concept, but
That's a
I do
great
think
idea.
it's worth investing yourself. And if that's the direction you're going to go, you're going to make a proof of concept. Don't just take a scene from it. Instead, write a standalone short that is those characters in that world, and they think that that's more successful. I
Yeah.
don't know,
And
but
to
hey,
piggyback
Makes
on that,
sense.
a movie that I'm in actually, Death is a Favor, I didn't know it when they gave me the script. Like, here's our short film. We want you to be in it. I'm like, great, this is amazing. It felt complete. It felt like its own. And I thought this was all it was. I was like, what are you guys going to work on next? Like, oh no, this is the proof of concept for the feature. And they did such a good job. So I don't know what else is going on with this movie, like what the further story is, because this little project felt so complete in itself that I'm like, oh, I had no idea. Like that's hard to do. I think that's a testament to them, but like that's like making it feel like its own little complete story is, I think, key.
But I'm gonna tack on to that. If you
Go.
do that too well, and it is a scene from your film, people might not want to invest the other side of it, saying, "No, this story's already done. There's not
Done.
more to it."
Fair.
You know,
Yeah.
so you still need and that's why I kind of think that the making a standalone of the same character,
Yeah, I think
same
it's a
world
smart
might
idea.
be the best. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet,
No.
but hey,
No, I think that's a really great exercise. It's really fun. All right, Ryan, thank you so much for giving us your time. It was so educational, so much, and like it just for me, like I feel a little more empowered to go to people and ask go to lots of people and try and ask for money. It's gonna be a challenge, but that you did it with zero experience is such an inspiration to me that like, okay, I can be brave and put on some grown up pants and maybe I can make a spreadsheet. Like that's where we're at.
and I went the opposite direction, and now I don't want to put on grown up pants. I want to put on a
She doesn't
onesie
want,
and just go curl up in a little ball and die. But thank you, Ryan.
Suck your
and
thumb.
that's how we work. That's why we work so well together. Get you a friend who's the opposite of your personality. All right,
If
guys.
you ever want to practice,
The onesie?
your pitch,
Okay.
no, the onesie and the pitch.
I thought the
so
onesie
be in your onesie. I'll do it with you. I'll role play. I'll be the
No,
investor, friend,
Oh,
whatever you need.
That sounds
the role
worse.
playing is more. Yeah, I was just like, that sounds
It's the
awful.
worst. It's horrible, but it's
Pretending
better
is
than
worse.
no. But doing it in real life is worse. I promise you.
Oh,
Do,
God, I
do
don't
it.
like
Practice
you.
it. You
I
got to
don't
practice
think we
it.
have the same
I
level
know.
of worses.
I don't like you.
I don't like I've never enjoyed the role playing parts of like the trainings at
You're an
work where the role
actor.
play. I hate it. I
I
hate it.
know. Me
I
too.
don't want to go to the Ren Fair and play with you in that way. Like that's not my way.
No, this
No.
sounds
I
too much like
know.
the
I
Red
know.
It's different.
No.
It's different, and I don't know what it is. All right,
Thank
Ryan,
you so
thank you
much,
so
you
much.
guys. I
That is a
love
wrap
that.
on Ryan, guys. Give him a good applause from the internet. Clap, 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 clap.
Bye.
Oh,
My gosh. And hold on. Those of you who are on the podcast and not watching, Tara also got very fidgety while she started to play with her hair, and I'm like, that's
I was
Tara
like,
nervous. Like,
no,
like we
don't wanna
both,
do
our
this.
body language during this whole thing has been pretty insane. Like, I'm so
Oh,
uncomfortable. Oh my
shift.
gosh.
Oh God, no, don't. Oh my God. I mean, I imagine in my head making the phone calls to people that I know and stuff, and just like sometimes I'm fine, and some days I just want to have a meltdown because it's
No.
just I'm better calling like companies and people I don't know and be like, hey, I need you to do this thing because I can fight for the film, but like calling my family and friends, no, so
Do
much
you want
no.
me to call your family and you call
You
mine?
want to trade? Okay, I'm calling on behalf of the Natalientara Empire, also known as Sneaky Pineapple. I am representing Natalie today. My name is Tara. I'm calling your mom. Your mom's like, "Why are you doing this to me?" I'm like,
Yeah, she's uncomfortable. She's uncomfortable just
She's like,
yeah.
"I don't want to do this with you right now, Tara. Why are you doing this?"
Oh, holy cow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
all right.
Ew.
Amazing
I don't
interview.
like
Interviews, man. Like, I really. We are quickly closing in on probably wrapping up this little section of our podcast and moving on to other parts of this process, of this development process. However, I want to leave the door open to maybe every once in a while, if we find someone we want to interview for a development funding thing, dropping in a rando interview with a filmmaker, because I do like hearing these filmmakers' funding stories. Like, what is your way? How did you do this? What's your spreadsheet look like? Like, how did you ask for money? Because it's just such a big topic. It's such a big thing. So as we find things, you may get a random, like, why are they randomly doing an interview on this topic? They were just talking about pre-production here. It's because we're still working on this. And this is such a big part of making a movie. All right, guys. I think we are rolling into my favorite section. I'm so happy to lean back for a moment because it is the Abby Singer shot, the second to last shot of the show. Oh,
Yeah, no, it's interesting because Ryan right out of the gate talked about this topic. Yeah, I
whoa.
was like, anybody who's watching might have seen some really weird body language, but it was because I was like, oh, how did
He
you
almost
know?
shushed him. Yeah.
I know. Don't explain that. No. So the word of the day is red light, opposite of
Okay.
green light, and now we're playing
Mm.
a game. But it was turnaround as part of this. So red light
Okay.
refers to a film that was greenlit. Green lighted is what it wrote, but I'm going to say greenlit. But now has been canceled either temporarily or permanently. The next part of that is turnaround, and that is what Ryan had mentioned, that his film had gone into turnaround, which is development hell. Turnaround, it's so the film is in some stage of being made and it is put on hold.
Okay.
Typically it occurs during pre-production. You're normally not into a film yet. A turnaround is characterized by a studio's hopes to recoup its losses, typically by selling the project to another interested party, but they still retain all rights to that project. So they've put some
Oh.
money in it, and they're still hoping to make some back. Now,
Mhm.
interestingly, one of the examples that they gave of a film that was a successful turnaround, because it doesn't always mean that it's the end. They listed one that there was a story of like Anne Frank that just died. Mammoth had a script for with Anne Frank and Disney that just like went into turnaround and it never happened.
So
Um,
many combinations of things there.
Twilight,
Okay.
Twilight was one of those that they listed, but this one I thought was really interesting. E.T. got stuck in turnaround. And
No
E.T. got stuck in
way.
turnaround with Columbia Pictures. And it's because when it was pitched, it was a sci fi horror. And then as Spielberg kept developing the script, it turned into this family friendly thing, but it was not what they had purchased. So, and they had already put money into script development and all this stuff. And so they sold to University. They sold it to Universal for $1 million, and Universal made it.
Wow.
And of course, you're one of those where
And
like
of
Columbia's
course.
probably they kicked themselves in the patootie
Yeah, yeah,
over
yeah.
losing ET, but it
Probably.
was not what
Yeah,
they
yeah.
signed up for,
Yeah.
And they're like, we're not putting any more money into this family friendly thing. We were making aliens, like it was a
Right,
horror film.
right. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, right. Yeah, their
and now
their
we should
brain
also
was
make it into a horror film. We should do that anyway.
right.
So turnaround.
That's fun. ET side note, I just recently saw going around the internets the resurfaced scene of Harrison Ford in ET as the principal. I never knew this.
I didn't
Yes,
know
it
that.
doesn't. So E.T. Famously doesn't really show the adults as much in the movie. It's really more about the kids and the kids' perspective.
Hmm.
And so the principal character, the actual principal of the school that the
Not a
little boy's
principal.
going to,
Yeah, yeah.
not a principal, there's a scene where he's sitting at a desk and our lead character is in trouble and he's giving him a lecture and it's off in the back. You see his hand tapping, it's off in the back. You see his foot go up on the window ledge. You never see the principal's face. It's Harrison Ford. But I've
Really.
watched this clip so many times, like it doesn't sound like Harrison Ford. It blows my mind. So
Hmm.
that's out there right now with all the anniversaries happening. They've been resurfacing old behind the scenes footage, and there's a great one of that. It's so
Wow.
cool.
Yeah.
I adore that movie. It's one of
Yeah.
my
Of course.
favorite classic. Like this is a well structured film movie. So I've been jamming on all these old classics being celebrated. All right. A little thank you going out there to Ben for your contribution to our filmmaking fund via the super chats. Thank you so, so much. Again, live stream super chats. Those are going to go all to helping make this movie happen. Also, we got the PayPal out there. It's on in our description. Hit that button. That's another great way to help fund our movie, and it makes you an immediate investor in what we're doing to
We
make
need
this
to
movie
set up like
happen.
a buy me coffee or something as
We
well.
do. Yeah. I
Can I
gotta
call it
relook
something
into
different? Buy me popcorn?
Buy Me Popcorn. Can we set up our own
Buy me
little
some red
thing?
vines?
Does anybody know of a good does
Need some
anybody good
bonbons?
know of a good Buy Me Coffee site that we can do the Buy Me Coffee thing? Or we just put our Venmo out there. I don't know. But thank you guys so much for investing in our film in this way. This incremental help means so much. We are inch by inch gonna make this movie happen. Next week we are taking a week off. That's correct.
Well,
I had to
kinda.
think really hard.
Yeah.
We're still
We
working.
yeah. We will not have a podcast next week.
Nope.
However, Tara and I are going to be in Waco Independent Film Festival in Waco, Texas, with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I have a script. Tara has
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have a short film, and then there's another
Mm-hmm.
short film. But
Yeah.
we are probably going to make one of our old-fashioned festival adventure videos. So stay
Yes.
tuned for that.
Yeah, yeah. God willing, and the walls of hell hold. We're gonna make a little
Mm-hmm.
video about. So that's gonna be. I'm excited about making that video for some reason. Like I've got
Mm-hmm.
the like itch to make a festival adventure now
A
that we're like
try-ish, yeah.
yeah, now that we're really diving into this, like we're festivaling and festival filmmakers, and it's just something about it is more fun. We will do our very, very best also to be posting on the grams and the stories and all that stuff. So if you're missing us next week and want some fodder, I'm gonna try and do my very best of posting our adventures in the stories as well, because we have
Mm-hmm.
a blast, and there's a karaoke that happens every year, guys.
And then
A
on the
karaoke.
30th, we will be back with another interview. We're going to, again, everything goes according to plan. Lauren Musgrove of Purple Magnet Productions. She had the film Ugly Sweater was her first feature. She has a production company. I think they're in, I don't actually know Lauren's story right now. We've been to festivals a couple times
Yeah.
together, but we will be, picking her brain about her funding adventure as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Yeah, yeah. She's got a mix of funding adventures the way that she made it happen. And it's, I think, another great, like pulling pieces from other places, another great, how did you get the money together adventure? And it kind of leans into, get yourself a bestie and start a production company vibes, like making stuff with your friends. It shows
Hmm.
longevity and trust to your investors. It's going to be a great interview. I'm looking forward to it. All right, guys, if you are listening to this podcast today, you might have realized that we do a live stream version of this, and it's great to tune into the live stream because there sometimes are visuals like today. So we got a live stream version of it that
Surprise
goes up.
visuals.
Surprise visuals. I can see him smiling in the backstage. We do this live once a week, Wednesday mornings on YouTube, 10 a.m. Pacific time. We leave the video up there too on YouTube, so you can go over and check it out. So if we've shown something, you're like, I need to see that, go to the live stream on our YouTube channel, Natalientara. We're leaving them up there in a playlist that is We Are Making a Movie playlist. And if you're a podcast subscriber or a podcast listener, did you subscribe? Because it means so much when you do. We're seeing the downloads go up, and it's just, we're working so hard on this, and I was like, I feel really good about what we're making, but I don't know how we're doing on the downloads. We're doing pretty good. We're increasing every week. So thank you guys for downloading and listening to the show. It means so freaking much to us. All right. That is our show this week. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. See you in 2 weeks.
Awkward wave.
I almost hit the end live stream button, and it's like the third time that's almost happened where I'm like, in stream. Nope, never have you done it that way. What are you
It would have been
doing?
okay.
I'd have been fine. They'd have been sad. Welcome to the Credit Cookie, guys. The Credit Cookie is where we hang out after the show to chit chat with you guys directly. All 10 of you. Yes, I can see who's out there. So if you've been itching to ask us questions or something, now is the time to do it. While you're thinking of that, I want to see that mug. I saw you lift it up and I realized I don't know what the mug is
Oh
today.
yeah. Isn't
The
it
mug of the
pretty?
day. I love
Let me see. A little
it.
farmharmhouse, but it's done like in cross stitch. There's little
Is it
geese
cross stitching?
in the
That's what's
yeah.
like. I could see
I
the
could
little.
it's the
Yeah.
focus won't change, so
I'm
you'll
gonna
have
start
to
taking.
zoom in.
I'm gonna start making you send me a picture and put it in the Instagram stories because I like want to see them. They're cute. Not to add
Oh
to your
yeah,
to-do list.
but
Sorry.
but sometimes it's just the last minute, like, oh, what mug?
I know. No.
I've
Well, you
started
can.
this monster, and now
I gotta do a thing. Okay,
a mug.
I give you permission from here on out that if there's not time to decide a mug, you can say this is not a mug day, guys. This is not a mug because not every day
This
is a
is
mug
not a
day.
mug day.
This is not a mug day because you shouldn't
Yeah,
have to be holding
they
to things just
can't.
because you did it once.
They can't all be mug days. Uh,
Some days I
put that
drink
on
my
a
coffee
shirt.
out of my hands.
It
Oh my
burns.
goodness.
Oh
Goodness.
man.
That's our new merch right there. It's today's not a mug day.
They can't all be mug days.
They can't all be
Uh
mug days.
Heck yeah.
Oh, good lords. Oh, we are getting excited to go to WIF. I keep wanting to say it that way,
No.
but I get mixed up because of
I
women
hate it.
independent. I should say
I
Wicca.
know.
Well, the WIF is already a thing, so like
Yeah.
I gotta say Waco. My brain still is having the run up to the letters and the words and going,
Mm-hmm.
nope, we don't like that. So, but we're getting excited. I gotta go run to the storage unit today and grab 2 suitcases because there's gonna be stuff that needs to come back with me, and our gimmick dress, which I'm very excited about.
Mm-hmm.
I am so excited. We're not gonna tell you, but I am so excited about our gimmick. We last time we were like, we're not telling you what we're doing.
Oh, okay. I
The
felt like we already did. Oh,
I
no,
don't
we've told him the costume. We haven't told him
right.
we haven't told him the gimmicks. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to
We'll
like
keep that under
just
wraps.
in
Sure.
case, and we'll tell you when we get
Mm-hmm.
done with it because it's a interactive, fun one that I'm excited about running around a crowd doing. So that's happening next week. I'm most excited about being at the end of it because I'm just tired and it's nothing against the festival and going to the water park.
Yeah. So those of you who, I mean, obviously most of you don't know this, but Waco teams up with Waco Surf. It's a surf park that's in the middle of Waco, Texas, where just some surfers decided to put together a park to learn to have
We
like
do
some
that
place to
there.
practice.
Yeah.
We're not surfing. There's a lazy river and we get free admission. So we've already plotted it in. That's our last day. We're going to go and have a lazy river, lazy day.
I need it. I need it.
So, so this is all TMI, not really, but
Oh,
this is weird things that honestly you don't normally talk about in front of 10 people you don't see their faces. Or whoever's watching.
that will live on after in
Live
this
on forever.
video.
So I lost weight recently. Like I was, I was talking about this earlier. I was, at 140, but I was trending the other direction. So I had watched that, I started in November, very slow weight loss, got down to where I wanted to be. This morning I looked in the mirror and like the little pouch under your belly button that girls
Yeah.
get was gone entirely. And now that has
Cool.
no. That has
Oh, is it
never
causing
been
problems?
gone my entire life. When I was younger, that
Really?
little, so I was like, oh no, and I threw down the scale, and I am way too light.
Oh, okay.
I have been working out a little bit, but I was keeping my calories at the same level,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't really think I was. Anyway,
Yeah,
so I
it
have
happens.
a carry-on suitcase full of bikinis. Every bikini the elastic has not been shot yet, I keep because my body fluctuates and, I'll fit into this again. And so I had to go through yesterday to try on every bathing suit that I own. And the
Yep.
bathing suits that fit were Natalie at 24. Like, why do I still
Okay.
have these? Like, and it is one of those, okay, you need to stop losing weight. I need to adjust my calorie count. I need to get some Cadbury mini eggs in the house again. I don't know how I do that because it's out of season. But I think
Oh, right.
that's how I keep my weight. But it was like, oh, no. This trend
Yeah.
is, now we're trending in the wrong direction. I'm at 123 this morning, which is not,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, that's a big jump from where you were last time we
I was
talked
at,
about these numbers.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
that's right. That's right in that line where like your clothing really starts to fit differently and all of a sudden it's an issue. Like you're like, "Oh, I can't
yeah,
wear these pants because they're going to fall off." Yeah. Yeah, I
it's
know
not
exactly
good.
what you're talking about. No,
It's
I
not
did the
good.
same thing. Yeah. A
Yeah,
couple years
it's
ago, I
not,
did the same thing. I jumped on the scale and was like, "Oh, I am way too light. I have to fix
yeah.
this."
Now, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not sickly by any means,
No.
but that is the edge of that. And if it's
Mm-hmm.
trending that way, see, it's the same.
Yeah.
I swung the pendulum too far. Now, I did raise my calories from when I was losing weight, but
Mm-hmm.
somehow I didn't raise them enough.
Yeah.
And I also stress don't eat. So unless
Okay.
it's sugar, I
Yep.
don't eat when I'm stressed.
Right. Yeah, same.
So, and there's no sugar in the house right now. So I think I just need to I need to bring some junk food back into the house.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm munching on carrots like a rabbit over here.
I love
Uh,
carrots. Yeah. Yeah, you can always tell when I'm there's 2 variations. When I'm very heavy, I'm unhappy. When
mhm.
I'm really thin, I'm really stressed out in a way that is beyond normal stress. So like the fact that I've maintained like a healthy weight for the last couple of years, I'm like, okay, I'm probably in a pretty good emotional place because I've maintained the same 130, 134 window for the last couple of years. And I'm like, okay, everything's good because one extreme or the other is something's not right emotionally for
Yeah.
me. Like that's how I know. I'm like, oh, okay, we're gaining weight. We're unhappy in this way.
Yeah.
Oh, we're losing too much weight. We're unhappy in this way. Yeah, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Like you get to this point where like certain like you no longer can wear these clothes and you can no longer wear these clothes. Like these aren't quite small enough. Like you're not quite small enough to get here. Why would you
Right.
want to be? But this whole middle ground, like I've been wearing like, well, also the 90s cut jeans are my favorite thing. Just oversized clothes because I'm in this weird place where like nothing really fits quite right. So I'm just like, I'm just going to wear
Yeah.
oversized things and be incredibly comfortable and not get ingrown hairs on my legs anymore from my skinny jeans.
'Cause
We'll
of
say
skinny
that. Gah.
Well,
Yeah.
I am going to take advantage of the fact that I am at this weight, and I'm going to wear the
Yeah.
things that I don't normally get to
Do
wear that are
it.
too tight. I'm
Heck
going
yeah.
to, but I am going to up my calorie count. I
Yeah.
am still watching my calories because I don't want to go the other direction. I just need to find that healthy middle ground,
Yeah.
and I need to probably err on the side of overeating instead of undereating. And I think I was still undereating. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
hungry. It's not
Yeah.
that. I just need to like eat a candy bar. Eat a
Eat
cheeseburger,
burger.
damn it. Read a book,
Oh,
eat a
that
cheeseburger.
read a
Solve all my problems.
Solve all your problems. Read a book, eat a cheeseburger. That's another shirt. Today's not a mug day. Oh yeah. I've been on the struggle bus. And I say this not for your pity, everybody that's out there. I say this so that you know it's normal. I'm on the struggle bus, like mostly the struggle bus of just being way too hard on myself, but also like being stretched so incredibly thin in all these different departments that I'm finally at the end of like I'm emotionally very thin at the moment. It happens, guys. Life is life and nothing serious. Life's life and I'm just the incremental stress is like finally getting to me where I'm just like you say something the wrong way, I will cry. Oh, it will happen. I am that. I just sent my my day job boss a note. I was like, listen, I am really emotionally thin right now. Can we not make any jokes about me for a couple of weeks? Just
Yeah.
because I will cry and you don't want that. You've
Yeah.
done nothing wrong. I just know I am sensitive right now and like any joke I might take the wrong way and go cry in the corner for 30 minutes because I'm just
Yeah.
Cincy
There's just
bears.
a straw camel back situation.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah.
don't need.
And
Let's
it's
not put any straws today, okay?
and I have definitely been through worse things, 1,001% than what's going on in my life right now. It's just the compilation of everything that I'm just like, and I at least have the acumen now to be like, I'm emotionally thin, and I won't take your joke well today. At least I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Waco, John. Like chilling out in Waco, getting on that lazy river. I'm gonna go see my mom. It's exactly what I need. Just a little bit of deep breath. You
I
make
don't
that
know.
face.
That's
Mother-daughter dynamics aside.
okay. No, yeah,
Yeah.
mother-daughter day can for me. I mean, I think for all mother-daughters, can
All
go
mother-daughter
one direction or
combos.
the other. Yeah.
Yeah. It just depends on where you are in that female dynamic.
When mom knows that it's needed, moms are really good.
Moms
It's
are
when
good.
it's when you don't
Exactly.
communicate it to your mom that they
Yeah.
don't-
I'm gonna send my mom a note ahead of time, be like, I'm emotionally thin right now. No questions.
No questions.
No
Oh,
questions, please.
my
I
goodness.
can't do questions right now. Let's talk about anything else under the sun. Like, just here's a board game. Let's do that.
Yeah, I was talking.
Yeah.
So Toby's going to join us in Waco.
Yay.
And I was talking to him, and I said, I just have to be good because when I'm stressed out like this, I will go and overindulge. Like I will have that relaxed night where I just overdrink and then it just ruins everything. And I've done it. I do it again and again. That's my bad drinking is that when I take that breath and then I
Yeah.
just overindulge. Anyway, so I was like, he's like, well, if you need to have a password or something to get out of a situation or I was like, no, just remind me to drink, Toby. So Toby's on the drink water brigade.
Awesome.
He's
Oh, good.
He's gonna be
Good.
bringing buckets of
'Cause I
water
think-
in for me.
I think like you and I with our sister dynamic, we're at that point where like it's like if I was your mom telling you to do something, it's better if it comes from Toby than from me.
Just,
Yeah.
Toby just the idea is someone needs to just bring me a glass of water.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Perfect.
don't tell
Love
me I
it.
can't have that drink. That
No.
won't go well for you.
No.
You can barter with me.
Here's
I think
water.
you can say
Barter?
I think you can go. You
Well-
can have this one when you finish that water.
Oh no, I won't be doing any of
Oh, I
that.
think-
That's no.
No,
Toby
that would
can.
work 100%. That would work.
I don't know. It depends on what plateau we're on at that particular moment.
Oh yeah, if
and
we're
who's
already
around.
past that, there's no point. Like,
There's well, not even that. It's just like it depends on what swing of the up we're on and like what's going on at the moment. Like I got to pick and choose
Yeah.
my battles. Like and I got to preface with, you told me to.
per your instructions.
Per your instructions. Here's a glass of water.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, per your instructions is keywords in certain moments.
In
It's
Natalie
like, oh, that's
world,
right.
like if you say per your instructions, I have to go, okay, I'm the
Oh,
bad
that's
guy
right.
here.
No, you're not a bad guy. You did make a request. That's all. There's no bad guy. Just you did make a request, and we're honoring said request.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun though. I'm excited about going to Waco. I'm really excited about seeing the gentlemen that run it. Lewis and Sam are just the nicest guys, and they're gonna be too busy to talk to us until the end. But like they're delightful, and I just love going and being a part of the party they create for everybody because they do such a good job making such a fun, wonderful filmmaker friendly film festival. Like it's a joy to go revel in something that they've created together. So I'm excited for that last night party when Sam gets to finally kick off his shoes and he gets a little wilder than usual.
Which is
it's fun.
always funny because it's the one night that we don't indulge.
Yes, we're
Well,
finally tired.
No, well, not just that. It's the beer garden. And we've never been beer drinkers. So it was always like
No.
this evening that we go, I mean, it's fun, but like
Yeah.
we're like the only people there who are like not
Right?
tipsy. Yeah.
I did one year. They had the ice cream cookie sandwiches, the really good ones. I ate enough of that I got so hyper on sugar. Like I was flying. There's a picture of me with a cookie in my hand like this. Like I was flying.
We did s'mores the last time I was there. Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, there's always some really fun snackums that I get, like some
Yeah.
sugar something that I am like so excited about. Give me that sugar.
Yeah, don't
Love
tell
it.
Sam and Lewis, but we normally sneak booze into that one.
Yeah, don't tell them that. I hope they don't watch this far.
No.
Oh
right,
my
we gotta
goodness. All
wrap
right.
it up.
Anything else? I think we gotta get going. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you guys. So good reminder, we won't be here next week for our usual chit chat. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. But we will be doing the Graham thing. So, hang out for that. And maybe there's a random, like, we go live on the Instagram because we're just that goofy enough that we feel like
We are
it.
goofy.
It could happen. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying it could. So anyways, all right, guys. We'll see you guys in a week. 2 weeks. Lies.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.